on how know and grow your audience with your LinkedIn company pages. My name is Bobby Umar. I'm here with the amazing, wonderful, fantabulous Brenda Meller. How you doing, Brenda?
Hey, Bobby. I had to go this way. Hey, Bobby. How are you? It's nice to see you.
Hi, high five, boom.
Right?
Okay.
We tried this last month too.
I know it's very difficult to do this. So good to see you. And before we get started, so we do this every month on the second Wednesday to talk about company pages on LinkedIn to help you take your company page to the next level. And this is brought to you by the Thought Leadership Brand Club, which has its own company page, so you can follow that as well. And you can learn more about what the Thought Leadership Brand Club does for different businesses and brands and helping them elevate to that next level. But let's start with a quick introduction. Brenda, I'm going to introduce Brenda. Brenda is and you can fix any gaps that I have, okay? Brenda is a marketing specialist. She's the founder of Meller Marketing, and she's really big on talking about the social media pie. She loves pie, and so she often talks about getting the slice of pie of social media with your marketing. And she's a fantastic LinkedIn influencer. She's a good friend. She's a mom, and she's everywhere because I see her on Instagram, I see her on Twitter, I see her on LinkedIn, and so I hope I did that justice. But she's an amazing expert and leader on LinkedIn, is including company pages.
Yes, absolutely. You did a great job. Yeah, thank you. Can I introduce you now too? Because
go for it. Go for it.
Bobby is a 100-time TEDx speaker. I don't know how many times. It's a lot.
It's five.
He's been on the TEDx stage many, many times. He is a branding expert. He is the creator and head guru at the Thought Leadership Branding community. He is a connector of people, and he is a good person. Great dad, good family man, and he is also everywhere. And if there's a new media coming up, like a Twitter Spaces, like Bobby's on it. He's on it first, and he's always really good at understanding your brand. You need to evolve and be everywhere it could possibly be, because you reach new audiences in that way. And I am delighted to be here and co-hosting with you today.
Wow, that's lovely. That's lovely. I mean, you're off by the TEDx. 100 is a be off, but
it feels like 100. I know you've done it a lot more than I have. Many people have. So,
which is interesting because I just launched my next upcoming. So what I'm doing now, normally I do a workshop and I do it online, like Zoom. But I actually decided to turn my next TEDx workshop on how to land your first TEDx talk into a live stream. So it's going to be actually on my page. Again, I posted today, but the engagement is terrible. Whenever I promote anything on my profile page, engagement's terrible. Same on my company page, but at least Rachel Simon liked this. That's nice. And anyways,
this was on the Bobby Umar
so my main profile. It's like, hey, I'm doing a workshop, and then who's in? And then
sometimes
crickets.
When LinkedIn sees those posts, it kind of immediately rates it as salesy because you're trying to promote something for your business, and the engagement score gets kind of tanked.
I guess.
Do you feel like that? Yeah.
Sure, but the thing is, I'm an entrepreneur. So, how many entrepreneur and business owners are on here that have to sell their business? I mean, I get it. If I'm the vice president of banking, and so I'm not going to talk about my business, but and talk about other things. But for me, I'm an entrepreneur. I have to use LinkedIn to sell my business, so it is frustrating. But let's segue back to company pages and start off with the first thing that Brenda always likes to do, which is
looking and see how many pending invitation credits we have on our page right now. And I'm like, I forgot to do it. I forgot to max out my credits. I've got 161 out of 250 credits available. But
that's still pretty good.
By the end of the call, I'll have 1 credit available because it's really easy to issue these invitation credits. But I have been a little behind because my business is doing well because I've been busy.
Yay!
So, good reason you haven't sent it out. And I even posted on Twitter this morning, and I reminded people, I should listen to my own voice. I reminded people, if you've got the 250 credits, send out 10 a day. And you can do that for 25 days. And that's a lot more manageable than sending out 250 in a day. That.
I saw that tweet.
Yeah. So how about you, Bobby? How many do you have?
Yeah, I guess because I have only 7 invites left, I sent them all out, and that means my business is doing terribly. So yeah, it's been slow. It's been slow. September started off kind of slow, but you know what? We're doing more things, and I'm doing more activity, so it'll come back. So I also want to invite people, if you're listening to this broadcast, please comment below. Let us know where you're from. let us know if you have a company page. If you have one, put the link in here because we're broadcasting this everywhere. It's going to LinkedIn, it's going to my company page, is going to Twitter, to 500,000 people there. It's going everywhere. So people are seeing this. So tell us where you're from, and then also share a bit about, what. If you have a question, great. Share your links. We want to hear from you.
Even if you're watching playback, like comment later.
Yes.
Bobby and I will continue to watch the comments. And the interesting thing about live videos is we don't know that you're watching. We might see numbers in there, but that's kind of like, I don't even have my microphone next to my mouth over here. You're probably not hearing. Is that better? Can you hear me better now?
Oh, you're definitely louder. That's for sure.
Oh my gosh, how crazy was that? I was like, it's like the mic tap. Like, is this thing on? Can you all hear us? So when you comment and you say hello, yes, we're watching, it lets us know that the live stream is actually picking up, and then we can see and hear you. But it's also a great way of getting visibility. And Bobby, I do this all the time. Whenever I can jump on a live stream, I try to jump on, even if it's for 2 to 3 minutes, and I'll say hello from Metro Detroit.
Sure.
And I did this. I don't know if you follow Steve Noodleberg. I think I'm saying it correctly. He does like this morning huddle live stream, and he's always bringing like sales guys on. And it's always at 8 o'clock in the morning when I'm walking my dog, and I'll pull up my phone and it'll say Steve Noodleberg is now live, and I'll click on it and I'll jump in and I'll say hello from Metro Detroit. And the other day, Steve gave me a shout out, and I got people coming to my profile as a part of it. So hey, if you're watching right now, drop in a comment because we'll help to send people back to your profile. We'll help you. Help us help you, right?
That's right. No, I love that. Now, the topic today is how to leverage your company page to engage your employees. Is that the idea? Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, before we do that, I actually want to mention a trend because I did a LinkedIn Mastery audio event, my first one actually yesterday, and I talked about LinkedIn audio pages. But before that, I did one with Rachel talking about trends, and I did one on Twitter Spaces talking about trends. And one of the big trends that company pages, it's always very challenging to get engagement, but I found that by one of the big things I've been doing now is every once in a while I look at the LinkedIn news editors, look at one of their featured stories, and then I take that story and I comment on it in my company page. And once in a while, not very often though, it's hit and miss, but 25% of the time, sometimes the more recent time I did, I think I talked about was it quiet quit? I think it was quiet quitting. And quiet firing, and
oh my gosh, quiet firing,
and then they featured it, and all of a sudden I had hundreds of comments on my post.
In your page, or was it on the stream of the
on my company page? No, it was on there, but it was on the company page too. So all those people commenting, people I don't know, and that was great. And so I encourage people to try that out as a new trend that can work to get some really great traction for your company page.
I love that. And you could empower your employees to do that if they're admins on your page, right?
Perfect segue, Brenda.
Maybe you take turns and you say, Bobby, you're week number 1, Brenda, you're week 2, Joe, you're week 3, Kelly, you're week 4. Every one of us during our assigned week will find a post and we'll go into the company page and we'll share it and add some commentary on it. And that helps to spread the work out because sometimes it's a struggle to think about what are we going to post next on our company page, right?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. So let's get into that topic. It's a perfect segue into helping employees. Now, I'll be full disclosure. I don't have very many employees, but
but you work with clients who have employees. Right?
Oh, absolutely. I know, absolutely. So I think that one of the things is you don't want to be. This is with any sort of community you build, right? Whether you're building a community, like I was just talking about this actually this morning on the Thought Leadership Brand Club, because we have a community where we have a WhatsApp group and we have. We have a leadership team, and I was like, it shouldn't be me posting all the time, right? The power comes in when other people post, and they're like, oh, okay, I guess this is a thriving community. And I was talking to Chris Cole to talk about the idea that the first jump is when you have 5 active people in the community who are engaging, and then the second level is 30. If you can get 30 people in your community engaging, that's really powerful, and it builds a really strong, vibrant community that's really engaged. So similar to the employee thing. My general take is, getting your employees to engage and to share and to talk, leveraging the company page and sharing posts can be a really great way to build that community.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think? What is your tip or your suggestions or advice for companies to get their employees engaged?
So this is like a super easy one. There are already self-identifying
cheerleaders and brand ambassadors on your company page. If you have not identified them yet, it's really easy to do so. Go through your company page and see which employees are interacting with your posts. And there's different levels of how engaged and visible, and it really depends on how much your company, your leadership, your management, or your head of marketing is empowered them and given them permission to do so. Because your company may not have said anything to them, and they're a little bit like, do I try to post and like, is that okay? And then if they get like maybe they add a comment and the page comments back in the page, the company says, thank you for your comment, Brenda. We appreciate your support. They're like, oh, okay, I did something good. And then maybe I go into the next meeting and the head of marketing is, they're talking about what they're doing on social. And by the way, Brenda is really doing a great job engaging with your page. And we just wanted to thank you. And they do that publicly in front of all the coworkers. And they're like, yeah, Brenda's really impressive, and it makes you feel good. And then other people, they get a little bit of that FOMO, right? The fear of missing out. Like, why didn't they call my name in the meeting in front of the big boss?
Right.
And now they're going to want to go and do those things. So I love to encourage organizations to, maybe once a year, push out an email to their all employees list and say, hey, wanted to make sure that we have a company page on LinkedIn. If you are on LinkedIn as a part of your job, we highly encourage you come out to our page once a week, interact with the post, add a comment, add a like, maybe reshare out to your personal feed, because that helps to bring more people back to your company page and it helps to support the organization. And then, by the way, if you have ideas on things that we could post to showcase the culture or to highlight, things that you're seeing within your role at XYZ company, let us know. So that's kind of opening that door even further to employee engagement, because you're going to get the big cheerleaders that are going to say, hey, how about we do a day in the life? Or how about we take some of our customer testimonial videos that are on YouTube and put them out on our company page? Or how about, hey, we're having a Halloween party and it's going to be people dressing up. How about we get a team photo? And you may not be thinking about that because you're like so focused on getting the digital strategy up and running. But other people are like, hey, let's do this, right? But part of it is you got to give them permission. You got to let them know it's okay to do so.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot there to unpack. That you mentioned so many great things. The first thing that comes to my mind is the commenting piece. A lot of company pages don't reply to comments from either their employees or anybody. It's a great chance for you to showcase your brand. So I think that is really good. And the second thing is a company page can comment on their employees, people who are on their employees who are posting, and say, hey, this is really great. Maybe you can share some insights on our company page, because the idea is that you could also, and which is my other idea, which is getting employees, knowing who actually post stuff regularly on LinkedIn, and then saying, hey, why don't you share this on your company page? Or can we share it and just highlight you? And they're like, of course, why would I not want that? I mean, of course they want that. So that's a great way to, that's a great way to get them engaged. The other thing that comes to my mind is, creating some engagement, excitement, like a contest, saying, hey guys, we want to feature you on our company page. We, featuring customers, featuring employees is a great thing to do in general, which again, a lot of good company pages do, but get them engaged on your page. Okay, guys, we're going to feature you, but you have to engage. Okay, so here's this post, and the first 100 people that comment on this post or share this with their networks, right? We're going to put you in a draw and feature you in our next post or something like that. And I think you can do that on a regular basis and generate some excitement. Because I think most employees, like I'll go to like a page like Coca-Cola, which has, 100,000 plus employees, right? Yeah. How many of those are actually engaging the company page? I don't know. But, getting them engaged by messaging them, but also creating things to instill excitement and FOMO, I think will go a long way.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm curious because I heard you touch on a point. I'm curious what your thoughts are. Some companies, and I work with some companies that say, we don't reply back to employee comments on the page because it's kind of like cannibalism. Like we're engaging with our own, and the real goal is to engage with people outside of the page. I'm curious, Bobby, as a branding expert, what do you think about that?
Well, branding is all about trust and connection and memorability, right? So if you want to be a good brand or trusted brand, there's that. So anything you can do to increase connection, increase trust, will benefit you, benefit the relationship, benefit the culture. And so for me, it's like having a suggestion box and people put stuff in there and then no one responds to it. It's like having a town hall and people come up to you and then you don't respond to what they have to say. So if people are commenting, saying this is really great, and you just saying thank you so much, like that. There's nothing wrong with that. You may not be getting new outside customers, but you are increasing the morale, the loyalty, retention, productivity, and efficiency of your employees. So yes, you should comment.
And I like replying back to employees because it highlights the culture. It really you're replying back for two audiences. One is the employee themselves, like the person who put the comment. So it's kind of like patting them on the head. Yes, I saw you. I appreciate you.
Right.
It's like being a parent. You reward your kids for good behavior. They're going to do more of that good behavior. And the other audience is everybody else. Because everybody else sees, even if they see it says, VP of marketing at XYZ company, and they know that I'm an employee of the company, they go, wow, what a great culture, because their employees engage on the page and the page replies back to them. And, right now with all this talk about quiet quitting and quiet hiring and all the things that are happening, the great resignation, we want to demonstrate that we have a good culture within our company. And we're not just saying that, we're not just putting words on a wall or words on a website about our culture, but we're illustrating it. We're creating this social proof. Look, when our employees comment, we reply back. Like, wow, what a cool thing that this company does, right?
Yeah, and that reminds me of another kind of tip that I would add, which is, getting your leadership team involved. So, if you're a large company of, thousands plus, you may have a leadership team of 10, 20 people that are there. If you're a smaller company, maybe you have 3 or 4 people that are in the leadership roles, but getting them to comment and reply. Right. So what happens is, like on LinkedIn, when Jeff Weiner commented on my post, oh my God, I was so excited, right? Daniel Roth, energy, oh my God, right? So imagine you're working for a company, and then the big kahuna or someone way up there comments your post and says something nice and thoughtful, and it's personal as opposed to just the company. Because sometimes the company page is like, oh, it's some social media manager doing something. No, it's this person, like an actual legit, like senior VP or chair or a president, whatever it is.
Oh my God,
that would be extremely meaningful, not only to employees, but also to other people that are commenting.
Yeah, I agree. And it's employee engagement. I mean, the whole tone of what you just said, it trickles from the top down. So if the head of the organization, the company leaders believe in engaging their employees, then you're going to see that happening through the company page. If they're kind of hands off on it, it might be a little bit lukewarm. Or if they're hesitant, I think that's going to be reflected through the actions that you see happening on the page. But I strongly believe, Bobby, like our employees are extensions of our brand. They are our brand ambassadors, whether you work in accounting or marketing or sales or IT or legal, whatever, you are an extension of our brand. And each of us individually can help to create that vision of the brand by our LinkedIn activities, by having a branded header, for example, is, something that's on our profile with company branding. And that's a way of engaging your employees is by, hey, here's 3 to 4 header images to choose from, and then giving them different selections over time. Versus, you don't want to force it on them. You don't have to say you have to use this, but if you don't have a header image, we'd love it if you would consider putting one of our branded company header images on there. And then maybe over time giving them, maybe it's fall and we've got fall colors in our header themes library now. So here's some different themes. Or maybe you're celebrating Pride Month and you've got some branded headers for Pride Month with the company logo on it that you want to make available to employees. But there's a lot of things you can do to engage your employees in the company page, but also as an extension of your brand outside of the company page. What do you think about that, Bobby?
Yeah, and I was as you were talking, I was thinking about it. Like what's happening is I'm coming with all these ideas now of things you can do. Yeah. Like even having a town hall, right? So you have a monthly town hall, which is a live stream on your company page, and employees can come in, and you can make it just employees can come in and share their thoughts and see what's going on. I think that could be something that gets them engaged and they know what's happening on a regular basis. Another way to get them really excited. And then going back to the original point about your brand ambassadors, your buzz agents, like having. Like if you find that there are 5 to 10 really amazing people who talk about the company a lot, because there are people out there on LinkedIn who talk about the companies a lot. And I often tell them from a content strategy, that's nice. Yeah. What about you? What about your skills, your ideas and things like that? But find those people. If they're your huge buzz brand agents, you should leverage them significantly and say, hey, listen, you should be involved in more of this. We love that you're posting. You're doing a great job. You're building our brand too. We appreciate that. So let's get you involved. And then the last thing that comes to my mind is, I think the biggest challenge is the senior leaders of companies, right? So whether your company is 10 people or 1,000 people or 100,000 people, the senior leaders are often the most apprehensive, risk
They are.
averse.
Yes.
What do I say? And that's why Brenda and I do a lot of work
Yeah.
going to companies, particularly senior execs, and just trying to like tell them it's okay, like it's good. You need to do more of this stuff. And I remember I used to do a full day social media boot camp for executives, and we spent 2 hours just on overcoming fears. It was crazy. Like just so many fears about it. So that's why it's so important to hire Brenda and
Right.
hire me to come in and help your companies, because man, LinkedIn is an amazing tool. It's a great way to leverage your company and your brand and build your employees and engagement. But a lot of senior execs don't know how to do it, or they're too afraid to do it, or they are employing the wrong strategy. They're stuck on, oh no, we're going to stick with direct mail and doing booths at trade shows. No, you know what? Like, come on. Like, I had this conversation recently with a company, and I was trying to get them like, and they're like, we're just going to stick to traditional. Traditional? Are you kidding me? Like, you're
There's no traditional anymore. Traditional is digital. It's so different now than,
it was a bang. I couldn't believe they were talking about traditional booths at trade shows. And I'm not saying don't do the booths, but seriously, digital is the way where it's at. Okay,
I think we'll be comfortable though at a certain point in our lives and in our careers. It's kind of like when you think about even like what music you listen to, when you think about that right now. So my 11-year-old daughter will be in the car with me, and I'll put on Pandora, and it's like the 80s, 90s channel. And that's like, the music I grew up to.
Right.
And she's like, she made some comment about like, not like this is oldies, but this is like classics. And I'm like, Britney Spears is not oldies, like, but we get comfortable in a certain time frame, or this is the way that it was successful once upon a time. And we kind of like are reluctant to move ahead. Yeah. But I love your point too about executive, and I find it so interesting how there are so many common concerns. And when I'm working one-on-one with executives on their LinkedIn presence, they'll hesitate about what their concern is, and I'll be like, you know what? Do you know how many times I've heard other people say that very same thing? And usually it's something like, I don't know what to post because I want to make sure that it's representative of me at the level I'm at in the organization. I don't want to look like I'm an idiot or a fool is the short version of that. Like they don't know what to post at all, so they're not going to do anything. And then or I don't want to post about this achievement because I don't want it to look like I'm bragging. And I say, okay, take aside the fact that this is an achievement about you and consider instead that this achievement is a chance for you to promote your company. And you just are a representative of that company. And they go, oh, I never thought about that before. And then it's like a little bit of hand-holding, getting them through the process of like, what do I actually write in the post? And then what do I do next? Right. But very common concern. It's like we as human beings are not that much different, Bobby. I mean, we all have the same concerns and we as humans on LinkedIn, LinkedIn's an amazing network. I love LinkedIn, but it is not intuitive. It is not, there's so many backdoor things, and then there's etiquette and there's the algorithm. It is confusing, but I mean, it's amazing to think like I built a whole business on helping people with LinkedIn. And I, sometimes I upsell them to solutions and, to the paid solutions and to marketing solutions and paid advertising. But, it's good to know there's people like you and me in the world that can help people when they get kind of stuck in these things, right?
And that leads to another great tip, which is if you want to get employees engaged with company pages, you need to train them on social media and the digital landscape and LinkedIn. So that includes training your employees to understand how it works and how to leverage it better, but also training your senior executives on overcoming fears and how to actually do it well, so that now you're a sophisticated company that's completely embraced the digital economy, and now you're putting stuff out there and sharing those stories, sharing those expert ideas and values and everything you're all about, and that people will start to follow you and trust you.
Yes. Yeah. And digital is where it's at, and LinkedIn is the new way of networking. And even if I'll leave with the statement. Even if you're not on LinkedIn, people are still looking you up on LinkedIn. Even if your company page is not active on LinkedIn, people are still looking up your company page on LinkedIn. Even if your employees are not engaging on LinkedIn, people are visiting their profiles. So you can either create the story. Remember that show Mad Men? Did you ever watch it, Bobby? And he was.
I didn't watch it, but I know it.
Is it Don Hamm? Is that his name? in the movie?
John Hamm.
John Hamm, but Don Draper. Don Draper was
Don
his friend.
Draper, yeah.
I combined real and fake. So Don Draper, there was the one scene where he was talking to the woman, and I can't remember. It's the girl from Handmaid's Tale, Elizabeth something. But he was talking to her, and he's like, if you don't like the story that people are telling you, create a new story. Create the story that you want them to know about you. And it's the same on LinkedIn. If you don't like the fact that you don't have a strong presence, you don't have a strong culture, your employees are not engaged, you need to engage their employees. I mean, it's an action that you do. It's an action that you take and that you reinforce and that you support. And it's where do you get started? You get started today. What do? You start by looking at the top brand ambassadors. They are on your page. If you have a larger organization, you have employees that are engaging with your posts every day, and it's really easy to identify who those people are, and that's where you start. And you start from there.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that, and I think that a lot of people need to just I tell a lot of people this, which is people whether you're looking for a job or you're looking for clients or trying to promote your business, they're going to look at you up, and either they're going to see something that's amazing or something that's crappy or nothing at all. Yeah. Where do you want to be? So fix your profile, fix your company page, make sure they're awesome, not crappy, and not there.
That's a bumper sticker. Make sure your employees' profiles are not crappy.
That's right, not crappy. So with that, I want to ask you in terms of Brenda, tell us what's coming up for you and what can we look forward to seeing from you.
Yeah, so I actually did a poll a couple weeks back, and I said I'm looking at launching some additional webinars, and I've got some common questions and that came up, and I took the top rated response in the poll, which was creating a branded LinkedIn header, and I have launched a webinar. It's how to build your LinkedIn header. We're going to use a free Canva account to do so, and I'm going to walk people through some of the strategies and what you should have in your header if you're an employee of a company, if you work in sales, if you're a job seeker, or if you're just looking at brand presence. And then we're going to build some profiles, headers during the call together. I'm really excited about this because it's smaller group instruction. And I was just on the phone with somebody recently, and we were looking at her header and we were looking at her employees and coworkers, and she's like, yeah, we all have the same. And she thought it was a branded header. It was the default. They all had the default, which is that grayish, greenish, looks like a landscape flipped on its side. And I said, that's not a header, that's the default. And she's like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. I thought everybody was using the same header. And I said, no, you need branded headers on there. So I'm working on that. That's October 4th. If you're interested, go to mellermarketing.com/build, BUILD. And you can check out and learn about the details. How about you, Bobby? What are you working on right now?
I like that. Well, I just launched the TEDx live stream workshop, which is going to be on September 28th on Wednesday at 1 p.m. But the other one I'm working on is actually the TLB Club is running a workshop on mindset. In my coaching and all the work that I'm doing, mindset, we talk about fears with senior execs. Mindset's a big issue for a lot of people, whether they're in their career, no matter what level they're at. So I'm doing a workshop under the TLB Club banner with Angie Alexander and Roy Kowarski on September 29th. I have to check it out. What time? It's okay. I don't have the time with me. I think it's 5.
Where can we learn more about that? Where can we find a link or?
That's an excellent question. So if you go to the TLB, the Thought Leadership Brand Club company page, the events it's under the events there. I don't actually have it.
I'm going to look it up right now.
Yeah, there you go. So take a look at that, or you can go to if you go to the thoughtleadershipbrand.club. And you go to the website, it'll pop up and say, here's the link to all our events. So we're actually doing 3 this fall, but that one's coming up. So I thought I'd let people know. And in the meantime, please be sure to follow Brenda, DM her if you have any questions, DM me if you have any questions. If you see this replay, tag us, comment below, let us know what your thoughts are. I mean, this is being restreamed across a lot of different places. So there might be a tweet, there might be a comment on my Facebook page, there might be a comment on LinkedIn. But either way, if you comment and engage, we will respond. The truth is, a lot of people don't do that. They feel, I don't want to bother them. It's like, my favorite thing in the world over anything else, aside from hugs and ice cream and chicken curry buffet, is when people comment with a DM or a comment, because I love that, because it basically means that you care enough to say, yeah, this is really valuable to me. It's helpful. I want to share some love. That's awesome. It's one of the best things you can do.
Awesome. Yeah, I agree. And, I love that you reminded us too, that this is being streamed in a couple different places, because Bobby and I are kind of in tune to the live stream right now, but afterwards we're going to go and see where we were tagged or commented and reply back to you. But if you found this video helpful too, wherever you're watching it from, share it out with others. You can share it one-on-one with individuals
Sure.
if you have the playback link, or you can repost it. You can share with comments and maybe tell something that you learned from watching this. Maybe you share this with your head of marketing or HR and you say, hey, maybe we need to train our team on LinkedIn and maybe Bobby or Brenda can help us, right? And hey, we'd be happy to have that conversation,
Or
right?
both. Both. Can you imagine that? Both. I think, Brenda, you and I should do a retreat in Hawaii on LinkedIn strategy for a whole week. That would be so much fun.
I think that would be great, especially you're in Toronto and I'm in Metro Detroit. And when we hit the winter months in maybe January, February, where we're really feeling the cold bite, I think Hawaii would be awesome.
That's awesome. All right. Well, listen, thanks, Brenda, for always being here. We're here every second Wednesday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Thanks so much for joining us for the Knowing Grow Your Audience with LinkedIn Company Pages. And I want to thank Sebastian and Melanie also, who have been helping us set this up. We're not the techies. They are, thank God, because they really help us.
We just show up. Like they do all the work and then we just show up. So you guys were awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Well, have fun, Brenda. Good to see you. And actually, I think I'll be seeing you at Deanna's thing. Is that right? Or no, we did it already.
I think, is that tomorrow?
That's tomorrow.
I don't know. Yeah, but
I think
there's another event coming. Is it an audio event or is it a live
event?
It's
an audio event. Audio event tomorrow. Yeah.
We'll see you then.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right. Take care, everybody. So long.
Bye-bye. Thanks for watching.